From Channel 6 News, this is a special report.
Hello and thanks for logging on to channel6newsonline.com. I'm Ryan T. Right here from the Channel 6 News set. It is 12 a.m., but you're probably going to see this morning. Last night, President Obama addressed Congress about everything. During his State of the Union address, he addressed Congress about everything from jobs to Afghanistan to health care. One point, actually, I would like to address that stood out in the beginning was the idea that there is a great need for reform in schools, colleges, and places of education. Let's take a listen in on that sound clip.
1 in 10 Americans still cannot find work. Many businesses have shuttered. Home values have declined. Small towns and rural communities have been hit especially hard. And for those who'd already known poverty, life's become that much harder. And this recession has also compounded the burdens that America's families have been dealing with for decades. The burden of working harder and longer for less, of being unable to save enough to retire or help kids with college. So I know the anxieties that are out there right now. They're not new. These struggles are the reason I ran for president. These struggles are what I've witnessed for years in places like Elkhart, Indiana, and Galesburg, Illinois. I hear about them in the letters that I read each night. The toughest to read are those written by children, asking why they have to move from their home, asking when their mom or dad will be able to go back to work. For these Americans and so many others, change has not come fast enough.
Now, joining me now via ISDN voice line is Elliot of 5 NEWSNOW. Hello, Elliot. Now, when he called for your reform, what was your overall personal reaction to this?
Well, he did want to enhance education, and I thought it was great because he said that the best anti-poverty thing is definitely some good education, and we need to be ahead of other countries in terms of education and maths and sciences. He said he will not accept second place for the United States of America. I thought that was a very strong quote, and that it really did sum up what America should do with its education.
This year, we've broken through the stalemate between left and right by launching a national competition to improve our schools. And the idea here is simple. Instead of rewarding failure, we only reward success. Instead of funding the status quo, we only invest in reform. Reform that raises student achievement, inspires students to excel in math and science, and turns around failing schools that steal the future of too many young Americans, from rural communities to the inner city. In the 21st century, the best anti-poverty program around is a world-class education.
All right, now he also talked about job growth and how it's one of his top priorities. Again, he calls for total reform of this, and he says we need funding in order to create new jobs. Now, he really didn't comment on how the stimulus has been impacting this. What's your personal take on this again?
Well, the reason why he said that, he obviously said he's expressed his dislike for bailouts, but he said he has to do it. It was an emergency, and he had to save our economy, and that's really what option he had at that time, or else everyone would go ballistic saying he hadn't done anything. And speaking about jobs, he wants a bill on his table to sign into law on his desk in the Oval Office as soon as possible. So really, he wants just more jobs, and he hates bailouts, but obviously he has to do them to save our financial market.
Okay, and lastly, while I have you here, one quick question. Obama mentioned freezing government This term is kind of confusing for me. Wondering if you could go in depth and explain it to some of our viewers who might not understand.
He's prepared to freeze certain government spending, not including Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, all of those things that come out of your paycheck. He's prepared to freeze some spending that has increased 90% in the last year. That has increased 90% in the past, and that will not affect our security or anything like that. This really isn't something very crucial, and you won't see many changes, except it will save us money. It possibly won't be a big dent in the deficit, but it will bring our deficit down. It will help us in the long run.
All right, thanks, Elliot, for your commentary. We'll have more of your commentary and more commentary from hopefully the Channel 6 panel in a video later today recapping everything. I just want to point out a few lines by Obama right here. In one quote, he said, I was actually found this one really stood out to me. He said, quote, "I never said change would be easy. I really think this was I never said change would be easy, quote. I actually really think this was an important part for him to put in, because he really did need to assure the American people who were kind of in this medicine or viewpoint where it'd be, okay, we have Obama. It's going to be all easy now. It's honestly not. And it's a really hard job. And Obama's realizing that the hard way. This, 1 year ago, it was all magic. It was Obama. Everything's going to be great. You can obviously see his hair growing. He's obviously more stressed out. And he's assuring the people that he will get the job done, but it's not going to be easy. Also, I believed his speech couldn't have come at a better time, though it was extremely long and very, for me personally, hard to sit through. Once you did, you realize that he really is working his hardest for us. And overall, I think it was a really good speech. It recapped what's going on and what he's going to do. I just think the length, but I think it really couldn't have been done without the length. But overall, was a good speech on his part, and it really was needed to assure the American people what's going on with their money and what will happen. We're going to have more today on channel6newsonline.com and Channel 6 News YouTube channel, and on Facebook and everywhere else. Remember, for your latest news, just head on over to channel6newsonline.com or find us on Twitter at Channel 6 News or Facebook. Just go to facebook.com/Channel 6 News. That's it for the recap. Again, we'll be back later today with more recap right here on channel6newsonline.com. Until then, have a great night, or what's left of it. I'm Ryan T.